Yannis, Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day been long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid screwed in, got a lot to say. Aw, shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Yannis Pappas Hour. We're doing a guest episode today. We don't do many. We only reserve them for very special people. Special, pun intended. She's got a special out right now on Mark Norman's YouTube channel called
Queef Week.
Queef Week.
What a week.
What a week.
Better than Shark Week.
So not only will you laugh, but the whole way you can hear it. Queef is something when I hear the word, I hear it.
It's a good word.
It's a pussy fart.
It's a, what is that? Onomatopoeia, kind of? Where you can sound out the word and queef. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Why are you looking at him like he was a linguist?
Yeah.
Because you gave me a look like not me.
Well,
So
no,
I was
I
like,
don't know what ayahuasca means.
Onomatopoeia?
You've been doing too much ayahuasca. You have a different glow about you post ayahuasca.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just did it a couple months ago.
Now, what made you go, you know what? I'm done with Western therapists. I want to go to Mexico and I want to do this the old tribal
It was
way.
Peru.
Peru.
But close. But no, I was on Zoloft.
Yeah.
And I just get anxious. I get panic attacks.
Me too.
So I was like, let me just get off this shit. Because I heard eventually you become immune to it and you have to keep raising
That's the problem with it.
And then also they charge you so much.
Yeah.
Like my doctor, I don't need a shrink. Like I need a therapist.
Yeah.
But my shrink, just to renew or whatever, get more Zoloft, he's like, that'll be $250.
Yeah.
Just to check in. And then they talk to you for 12 minutes. And I'm like, give me 45 at least.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice, just like the accountants that we have for comedy, if we could write off medication, but we can't.
I know.
Like you can write off a lot of stuff, tickets and stuff like, but it's like, what about a category going mental health care?
We need it.
Yeah, we're zany people.
And sometimes, I don't know, if you don't have a gig on a Friday night, don't you go mental? Like your career is over?
Yeah,
like,
sometimes. Yeah, sometimes you get a little like, oh my God, I'm not booked, and that's not good. Sometimes you don't get into a Christmas party, and that pisses you off.
Oh, no.
I mean, yeah, it's a very bipolar, up and down career that has highs and lows. It messes with your chemicals anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're going on stage and you're getting this big rush, and then you get off stage and you're like, quiet. Do you ever hear the silence after a show?
Oh, it's the worst.
I remember like I was going through something not great with the brain, and I did a show and there was a guy taping it, and he came into the room afterwards and he goes, he made me aware. He's like, this is weird. He's like, it's so quiet in here.
Oh my
and then
God.
I heard the silence, like the ringing, like when you hear the ringing of the silence, and I just got fucking way depressed.
Yeah.
And I was like, you leave. You leave. You're
Like,
I
thanks,
don't want
buddy.
anyone pointing out how bipolar this is. We already know.
But even when there's a joke that works and they laugh too quickly and then stop, even that pisses me off.
Well, if there's a way to beat yourself up, we'll find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
No,
there's a
that's
way to
true.
go, hey, one person's not laughing, I suck, or you laugh too early, I'm imperfect, we'll do that to ourselves. Why find the problem somewhere else in our family or whatever when we can just beat ourselves up for not being perfect joke tellers?
That's so true.
Yeah, we
I
hate
can't.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, have you thought of cocaine as maybe sort of something to keep you going after?
No, I haven't. I mean, I have thought about it, but I'm going to say no because I have a heart murmur. And I actually asked my doctor one day, I was like, can I try Coke?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not trying to get addicted. I just want to take it off my bucket list.
Right. It's a bucket list
And he
thing.
was like, you have a heart murmur. You're stupid. Like cocaine causes heart murmurs. And I'm like, can't it just cancel mine out?
right. Maybe it'll
And
fix it.
It'll fix it. And he was like, that's not a good idea. So then I'm like, I'll try all the other ones.
Yeah,
but I
but-
want to do like San Pedro and all those weird ones. I want to do those.
You want to do it. And what has opened you up to this? Ayahuasca mushrooms?
I didn't know, this is really naive, but I didn't know that all of these drugs were medicinal.
Yeah.
Like you grow up thinking ayahuasca, you're just throwing up and whatever, and LSD and all that. Like you can actually have some good trips, apparently.
Yeah.
And
well,
so
under the care of a shaman.
that's what I mean. Like I don't want to do it in an alley here in
Right.
Brooklyn.
You don't want to do it in the urban setting.
I heard that if it calls you, don't just like look for it.
Right.
like look for someone on the subway. But if it calls you and you're like, I heard about this place, it's in the woods, it's amazing, then you're like, all right, let me do some research. That kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't, because that's what you call that's a telemarketing call. If you get a telemarketing call for ayahuasca, be skeptical of that.
Yes,
because they're trying to win your business.
Oh my God,
you got to go legit. By legit, you got to know, you got to check the credentials of the shaman, right? Because it's all about being around a shaman. You don't want a shaman wearing like a Brooks Brothers shirt.
No,
you want him to be. You don't want him to be nothing Western about him, right?
Totally. I mean,
like you want no shoes, you want long hair, you want beads. You want a guy who looks the part.
I don't even want to be in this country.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be anywhere where anyone speaks English.
Right.
So
you had an advantage when you went down there to Peru because you speak Espanol.
I speak Espanol, but
But
the
you're
Spanish,
a colonizer. You're not an oppressed.
I know. People just give me that look when they hear I'm from Spain.
Yeah.
But the Spanish that they were speaking on this little remote island in the Amazon, it wasn't like, it was more like small town Spanish.
Huh.
So a lot of the stuff that they say under their breath, like, like I couldn't even understand.
Now, when you got there, did they all go like this and go? Like, did they think it was like...
like, because I'm tall?
Yeah, or were they just like... They're tiny,
Pero
right?
Dios mío, qué alta eres. They were just like, I mean, it's funny, like you go to Lima and then you go to this small town and take a bus for 2 hours and then take a boat for 2 hours and there's no white people. Like there's no Westerners.
Right.
So I was just happy. I was like, oh my God, I'm not getting attacked. Like I'm not in this, like, you know, you just saw like idiots like me just running around looking for the right shaman.
Right, right.
So it was just,
excuse me.
Can I do that thing for my bucket list?
I'm here for, where's the shaman? I'm trying to find a shaman and I have no cell service.
Hola. Yeah. And then of course I couldn't speak Spanish in Peru before I got there because then all the rickshaw drivers and the taxi, hablas español, ven aquí conmigo. You know, it's almost like too much.
Right, right.
So I was like, hola, ¿dónde está?
So you westerned it up a little bit.
Totally. You have to like, protect yourself.
You got it. So you were constantly thinking, maybe some of your issues are just being a woman in the world. I've realized that women have a tougher time.
It's so hard being a woman.
No, but
I'm so grateful for Barbie.
People, but you know, you think about it, women got to be nervous a lot. When you go out in the world.
Oh my God, especially traveling alone.
It's traveling alone. It's like being a comedian. You're on the road. It's like, Dave Chappelle had that great joke that really nailed it down for me when he goes, he says I got paid cash. Have you heard this joke? He's like, I'm on the train. I got paid cash. And I had like this duffel bag full of cash. And he was like, I was so nervous because I knew I had something that everyone wanted. And he goes, oh, and then it hit him. He was like, this is what women feel like every day. Every second of every day.
About their vaginas.
Yes, about their vaginas. That's what he was saying.
This is something everybody wants. Can you imagine if we actually thought that all the time?
Yeah.
Stay away from me. I know what you want.
You're walking around like a treasure that like people want. You may not even be conscious of it, but subconsciously, you know, there's people out there just going like, I want that. There's just guys, and I'm sure you get those looks.
Yeah.
And you probably you probably want it from the people who don't give it to you.
Right.
And then the people you don't want it to give it to you all the time. Because that's the cosmic joke of this fucking ball of shit.
But it's true, like, you know, especially the ones that are
You're like,
too
why
aggressive.
can't the guy in the train looking at me? Why can't it be that my crush looking at me?
But then
like
they go, oh, I'm just intimidated.
Yeah.
And it's like, really? Are you? I'm not like, hi.
Yeah, the intimidation thing is sort of...
it's so like, oh, because you're so tall or whatever. Or you do stand up. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, I'm not threatening you.
Yeah, I don't have a knife.
Yeah. What are you
Talk to my vagina.
What changed about you when you did ayahuasca? What did you feel?
It's one
you
of
got
those
a different glow.
It's one of those clarity things, like it cleanses out bullshit, but it doesn't end here. Like I still feel it. It's only been like 2 months.
Right.
So I did it, and I did it like 5 nights in a row, 5 ceremonies.
Whoa.
So
you bought the all-inclusive.
I bought
5 nights.
I bought the all-inclusive package, and it's pretty nuts because you're literally with the trees the whole time in the jungle. And
What do you mean by with the trees?
like you're not like in a studio in LA or whatever.
Right.
But you're also not in a house with like an air conditioner. You're
Right.
in a loft. You're in a, I think they call it a maloca. It's like a teepee
Okay.
with just a cot.
Wow.
And you're just eating. Some of us went on a special diet. So
Came back looking great though.
thank you. No,
Yeah.
my mom was like, you need to gain weight.
Yeah, because you
I
don't.
lost
yeah.
like 15 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes like I'm not like, oh my God, I lose weight so quickly. But yeah, if I don't eat like certain things all the time, and it's when you're 6 feet tall, you do have the advantage to eating, but it's
And
like
your metabolism.
and your
skinny, yeah.
metabolism. So it's like I look like I had AIDS, but kind of in a hot way, like heroin chic.
Yeah.
And then there are people who were like, "Damn, girl," and then other people, I swear to God, were like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have the type of metabolism. If you miss a meal, people could see it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're skinny. You're a skinny mini.
I'm a skinny mini. Like I'm the kind of person who needs to go to the gym to lift weights,
Right.
not to do cardio.
No, cardio's no good for you.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah.
So what was the meals there that what did they give you?
It was like just plain chicken, plain rice, and plain eggs and plain fish. So no sauces or anything. So there were maybe like 12 of us and only 4 of us chose the diet. So I never did any drugs except for weed in my life.
Yeah.
And they were like, you'll feel it more intensely if you do the diet. And I was like, bring it on. And then I was like,
Were you
like it
nervous?
was.
Were you scared going in? Like, did you have any?
I wasn't nervous. I was
trepidation?
super excited until the very day of.
Yeah.
And one of my friends from high school, it's her husband went a couple times, and I trust him. I mean, I've known these people since high school, and he was like, "It's gonna change your life." And suddenly, I was like, "I don't want to die." Like I took it the opposite way.
Right.
And you know how they say like anxiety and excitement are the same energy.
Right.
It just depends where you channel it.
Right.
So I was on excitement the whole time, and then it just
Hyperarousal.
went over to anxiety.
Right. The fear
Like
kicked
that,
in.
and the fear kicked in, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? That's so stupid. I'm in the middle of the Amazon by myself.
Right. All the fears kicked in.
All the fears kicked in.
But you had to do it at this point because then there's a social pressure. Did you ever go like, I'm going to leave?
no,
No,
but
you
during
can't.
ayahuasca, I was like, you know what? I'll stay for the diet.
Yeah.
I'll stay for the diet in the jungle. It's really good for my skin. And then I'll skip the drinking, the ayahuasca. And then once you do it, you're like, I'm out here.
Might as
Like,
well.
might as well.
Yeah.
Just go nuts.
And what was it like? What happened? What did you feel?
I mean, you see stuff, you feel stuff. It's you go through hell and you go through your own demons, like your own shit.
Yeah.
Which it was really nice of them to recommend not to talk about the specifics with other people because you're constantly like making connections and working out what you see.
Yeah.
They were very serious about the ayahuasca. They were not like, hey, go have fun.
Right.
They were like, what do you want? We're going to be in the room the whole time, blah, blah, blah. Like that kind of
So
shit.
you just sort of sit there quietly and deal with it.
And deal with it and
Yeah.
throw up and shit.
Yeah.
But again, I had no clue. So I thought I'm shitting next to you, like
Right.
in a bucket. And I'm like, oh my God, I am never going to see this man again.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be okay. But you have the awareness to be like, there's a toilet over there. I'm going to walk. I mean, you still walk like you're 85 because
Yeah,
you're
all
like,
fucking
you're fucked
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But at least you can make it there.
Yeah.
And then you have a light, which I fucked up the whole time because they were like, you can only use the red light. And my white light is so bright on the flashlight. And they were like, the red light, people are like in their zone, you know? And I'm like, what?
Did you form a bond with the people like
Oh,
Breakfast
yeah.
Club? Like when you guys left, you were like,
Yeah, certain ones I still talk to.
you do, right?
Well, because it's interesting because you'll talk to them and they're from all over. So there were Australians, you know, there were people from the Midwest.
It's like camp for depressed adults.
Yes.
Yeah.
But more than
Did you
depressed.
sign to this yearbook? Like I fucking had a great time.
But more than depressed, it's like curious people.
Right. Want to
You know? And I was definitely the one that knew the least. Like there would be people that would be like, your chakra's really good today. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, your earth points and your moon is like shining, you know? And I'm like, I know nothing about that shit.
You were like an open mic ayahuasca user.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was so open mic first
You're working
show.
your way up though now.
Working
And
my way
You want
up.
to do it again.
I would totally do it
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Have you
not
ever-
yet.
Have you ever heard of EDMR therapy?
Yes.
Yeah, I say you should look
Really?
into it. It's incredible.
Now, what is that? Is that like a sound thing?
It's it's an 8-phase process where it's for trauma. You may not have trauma. I don't know what your thing is, but yeah, they kind of hack the subconscious by
Yeah.
rapid eye movement.
Yeah.
Take you into those traumatic memories, and then you reprocess those memories as an adult after some cognitive behavioral therapy and other augmented, if you need medication through it or whatever.
Because I have.
But it resolves. It has a beginning,
Oh,
middle,
it
and end.
does?
It doesn't just go on and on and on.
Oh, that's good. Because
Yeah.
what I have is blocked, repressed memories. So one of the reasons I want to unlock these
Like traumatic memories.
traumatic blocked memories.
EDMR is perfect for you.
So, but my therapist recommended it. I don't have this therapist anymore because she's old and she's like done.
Yeah.
But like,
That's always tough too, because like you go like
it's so hard. I was with her for 16 years.
yeah, that's tough. You're going like you don't know. You're not allowed to die
no
until I feel better.
until I die.
Until I die. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Have you started cheating? Like
I was cheating
I
on
started with
her
another
with YouTube.
with YouTube?
With YouTube therapists and podcasts.
right.
And then now I have a new therapist.
Right.
But here's the thing about therapy, like she knew me so well
Right. You got to like start all over.
that I would say like this happened this weekend. I don't understand. And she knew me so well. She's like, is it because of this, this, and this? And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So it's almost like she knew.
Yeah.
But then the negative side to that is that she got very chummy. She got like a friend.
Right.
And I'm like, you need to stay neutral. Because then at one point I started saying anything and I would say deep shit.
yeah.
And she'd go, aw. And I'm like, I don't need you to awe me.
Right.
I need you
tell me
to
what's up. Yeah.
intellectually break down what's happening.
Yeah. We're not. I'm paying you here.
I'm paying you.
Yeah,
I
you're
can
my
awe
friend.
from my friends.
Yeah. We're not hanging out.
We're not hanging out. So
Right.
I had to fire her because she reached a 70s age that I'm sure many therapists are good, but she just got too comfortable. And the other thing is she only did Zoom. So she was very comfortable and she was like, oh, like it was too much, too
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, I want you sitting up, talking to me like a normal person.
I think Zoom's actually really good for therapy because a lot of, I think, what always prevented me from going to therapy was the whole I got to go, I got to get on the train, or I got to get in the
Yeah.
car and sit there. I love the fact that I could just do it in my pajamas or without pants on or just run downstairs and do it. It gives me the same effect. I don't need to be in the room with someone. Like I'm
Oh,
looking at
okay.
you. I get it. It's more
See,
convenient.
I need the room, like same with podcasts.
Yeah.
Like I'll come down here to find you for 2 hours away.
yeah, yeah.
If
It's
you were
not
like, do
easy.
you want to do Zoom?
Yeah.
I'd
I
be
keep
like,
saying we don't have a lot of
"Yes."
guests, and that's because a lot of people won't do it. They're
But
like,
it-
where are you? I'm
Yeah.
not going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a trek, but I find that it just, I don't know, it just feels more connected.
It's totally more connected for
Yeah.
sure. I guess I'm more like selfish. I'm like, I don't want to do all that. And so I'll make this work.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I won't get better.
Wait, did the EMDR work?
It's working. It's the
Okay.
craziest thing that I've ever, it's the only thing that I've ever done that feels like it has a purpose. Like we're trying to get at something to fix it, not just endlessly, talk, which has its place too. Like,
Yeah.
but this is and I think it's more it's what I needed. It's what was wrong with me.
Now,
It's
do you
trauma.
need to know what your trauma is, or do
Yeah.
you go there to unlock it?
You can both.
So I
that
can
it
do it
happens.
even if it's like repressed.
Yeah, you start
I can
going in,
just-
and then
oh,
it starts because your subconscious knows your brain
Yeah.
threw it away so you could deal, put
Right.
it. And so when you get into that state, things start coming out. It's not hypnosis. It's
Darn,
just,
I would love that.
You would love to be
yeah. I mean,
hypnosed.
I've been hypnotized
Yeah.
before,
yeah,
and very well done and very shitty.
yeah.
So I know what it's like to have a good one.
Yeah.
But that would be fun.
It's an intense process, and
Yeah.
when you're doing EDMR, you start bugging. It's a little, and then while you're like in between sessions, you feel a little shitty. Like
Yeah.
your brain is starting to figure these things out, and it's kind of shitty, and it feels shitty. But like you're feeling like sadness, which is good,
Yeah.
and it like starts to settle, and
Oh my God, I'm so doing
neuroplasticity
it.
starts to kind of set in, and your brain starts to. It's a change, a transition. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Part of you is going like, then you start mourning all the lost time you had because you were
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
struggling with this
Yeah.
shit, always trying to contain your anxiety.
Yeah.
So like you couldn't enjoy the moment and all that. So then there's like, oh, I wish I did this earlier, and then you mourn that, and but it's
Better late than never, though.
better late than never, and
Yeah.
there's a resolution.
Has it changed your comedy?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's experience. I don't know. I think experience changes it more. It's changing my, like, I'm not like I would be in a hotel room when I had kids. It kicked into another level.
Oh,
like,
I'm
that's when
sure.
it like all started coming, back. Like
Yeah.
things that happened to me as a kid, what I didn't get or whatever. And then that's when I started bugging out and I started like trying to look into stuff. And it was actually Tracy Carnazzo. Do you know her?
Yeah.
So she knew someone. She was like,
I feel like she knows everyone.
she's a problem solver.
She knows when during COVID, I needed a vaccine ASAP. And she's like, I got you. And I swear to God, she got me an appointment the next day.
Let me tell you something about Italian people. Like she's a Ginzo from fucking, I think Howard Beach.
Okay.
She hung out a lot at Howard Beach, but I think she's from Queens or whatever. There's just certain people like that I got a guy people, and it's an Italian thing.
She's the guy.
He's got a guy.
Yeah.
So it was funny once. She texted me out of nowhere. I was in LA sitting in a hotel room just sitting on the bed, like having a panic, right?
Yeah.
And these things were happening, and I didn't know what was causing them. I didn't know what they were. And she just goes, "How are you?" And I just told her. I just hit her with a paragraph.
Oh, no.
Because she just happened to text me. And it was one of those serendipitous moments. She goes, "Sounds like you didn't feel safe a lot as a kid." She was like, I know someone who does a certain type of therapy that did that. And I was like, "What is it?" And she was like, "It's called EDMR." And I was like, and I started researching it. And then she got me in touch with this person. And my therapist is just really, then I learned that a lot of therapists aren't good.
Yeah. Oh, there's a
lot
lot
of people who
shitty
aren't
ones
good
in
at
New
their
York.
job.
Yeah.
Like any other job, there's a lot of, and if you get trapped with like a bad one,
Yeah.
you're like, then you have a skewed view of what it is and what it can do.
Right.
So not only did she get me in touch with someone who could do it, but the person is actually like really good.
Yeah.
So it's like lucky. There's some luck involved. And
So do you take your EMDR therapy information and take it to your regular therapist to analyze, or it's just all in one place?
no, I do a little bit of both. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
take it to analyze. I take it, because my other therapist knows me so well for so many years. So and
Yeah.
he's really good. But this is more specific. She's trained as a trauma therapist in EDMR, and like
Okay.
this is what she does. She deals with people who are traumatized, have trauma. So, I have like childhood trauma, and then I got re-traumatized in adulthood by violent shit that's happened to me. I remember we took a car ride once, and I was just talking your ear off about it, about being shot, because like I just needed to talk about. I remember
Talking to me?
Yeah, you probably don't even remember. We were taking.
How many years
I think we were
ago?
doing Gilda's. You remember Gilda's thing?
I remember doing
And I was a
Gilda's.
really bad comic, and you were really
What?
good.
You
I
were
was
never a bad
No, I was
comic.
bad back then. No, I was bad. I didn't do well, and I wasn't good. I wasn't good.
I remember.
I developed very slowly.
No, but I remember your show in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
and I was like, holy shit, he goes deep. That's when I was like, damn, it's
That's when
really
I was letting
good.
the demons fly. Well, was it good? Well, you might have been there on a good night. There was also other nights where I was punching people and like.
But you were
Yeah.
you just hit topics and you would not shut down. You just kept going. You just
Yeah.
would go through it without like
Well, I
being
used,
afraid of talking
it was
about
very
it.
self-indulgent. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was my room, and that's what it was good for.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what I needed, was like a place to just vomit out and learn how to do it. Because there was no way I was going to go into a place as a polished. I'm too much of a head control freak kind of
Yeah.
like fuck you kind of person because of my
Uh-huh.
demons. So like there was no way I was going to go into a place polished. I
Yeah.
had to go polish myself, like in a place where I could like fail. And there was a lot of ugly nights there.
But that's so good to have like an exercise room like that.
Yeah. Mine was more like it's more like I'd call it, it was more like the yard in jail.
Yes.
It was more like, it was like jail rules there.
Yeah.
It was a wild room.
No, it
But
was
you were
great.
always good and polished from the beginning.
Oh, thank you.
You
But
had that acting background, and you just
Oh.
knew. You were like, these are my lines, and I'm fucking you.
but I think I was like that. I'm less polished now.
Yeah.
Like now I'll go back and like mess it up more.
It doesn't come across polished though. it comes across very conversational.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I wasn't saying
Oh.
you're not like a bum 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 bah.
Yeah.
You're not like a
No, but in my head, I think I needed to be polished. I had to feel polished because at the beginning, I was very scared of doing stand up.
Right.
Like I liked the idea of sharing jokes, but the thought of an audience still kind of freaked me out.
right.
So I had to like keep it together.
Do you think that was because of the acting background, and you were like, my background is like I ignore that?
No, I
people?
think it was more before that. It was just I was a super shy person. Like
Yeah.
when I go back to like when I see friends from high school or college, they're like, "You do stand up?"
Right.
Like I was just super, shy.
Right.
So it kind of broke me open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why did you get in? Why did you? God, I hate when that question.
How'd you get into
I
comedy?
heard myself saying it, and I was like, Jesus.
How's everyone doing?
But it's really what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
But it's like you're doing morning radio, and they're like looking through your Wikipedia, and they're like, all right, let's send it over to Flashback with the news, and they're like flipping through papers, and like, all right, Carmen, so how'd you start? What'd you get into it for? I'm like, I just always thought I was funny.
It was a dare. No, it was an accident. It was just basically just in a nutshell. It was
Even
an accident.
you answering this is making me cringe.
No, but that's all I need to say about it.
Yeah.
It was an accident.
It was an accident.
I just fell into it. I mean, when you're in New York, you see
Yeah.
things and you're like, I want to try that.
Yeah, but you have it. The funny thing is like, yeah, you were doing acting and you didn't think you were going to do it. But I don't know if people fall.
I'm impressed that you remember that I acted.
I know everything about you.
Yeah.
I know you got scoliosis. I don't
Oh
forget
my
things.
God.
Yeah, I know
Did you do
everything.
research for this?
No, I just
Oh.
remember.
Yeah.
I don't forget things.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, when I look at you, I'm fucking looking at. He knows a little too much.
Stop looking at my
Yeah.
vagina, everyone.
I'm a people investing. I just am. People
You're
more.
smart. Be
It's not
honest.
smart.
Isn't
Am
memory
I smart?
retention? Isn't memory retention like probably the best thing? Like I have a shitty memory, but if I could change something and just have a really good memory,
Yeah.
like
But do you have a memory for what? Like if you asked me to remember a book I read or something like that, I'm not. But if I remember people, I'm interested
Yeah.
in people for some reason.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
people are more fascinating than the universe. They really are. The universe is kind of like, all right, there's a star. I was like trying to get fascinated the other night.
yeah.
Like, you know how these fucking finger sniffers, I call them finger sniffers because they're they're eggheads, smart people. They
Okay.
look up at the sky and they're like, this is so amazing. And I was looking up going like, what else you got for me? Like, you're just like not moving, you're not doing it. And then you talk to people and they're like, yeah, I was molested, I was 3 and
You're like, more. I love
yeah,
this.
more. We're just complicated and
Yeah.
interesting and all that.
Yeah,
so-
especially open people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Close people are interesting too because I go like, what's in there?
What are you hiding?
I want to go. It even draws me in more. I'm going, what's
Yeah.
in there? I want
Yeah.
to know what's going on in there. What are you hiding? Yeah,
What are you hiding?
yeah. Because
But
close
that's-
people are always hiding something.
That's why I find the mind stuff, like the drugs and the therapy and all that stuff, so fascinating. Because at the beginning, remember when we
How about this one?
started?
How's your sister? I
Oh,
know
wow.
everything.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry to cut you off. I
No,
just
but you know how at the beginning people were afraid to do therapy if they were comics because they were afraid it would fix them.
right.
Do you remember that?
Yes,
And it was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And now every comic's in therapy.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. Like the more you dive in, the more you find. And you're
Yes.
like, I got that from my dad.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened to him?
Right. And then
You
intergenerational trauma is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now with we were talking about this right before you came, but now with neuroscience, they look at the brain, and so they did this study with Holocaust survivors' kids,
Yeah.
or like their grandkids, and they were seeing that the trauma was actually passed down.
Amazing.
Like it's crazy.
Well, there's so many good neuroscientists online now.
Are there?
Like,
I always feel like if someone's online, I'm always like, you're a content creator.
like Andrew Huberman. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. Is he the guy? Yeah. He's made a lot of money by telling you to take deep breaths.
That's Wim
Get some
Hof.
get some sunlight, take a couple deep breaths.
Yeah.
And
The sunlight on the eyes.
yes,
You're right.
get it on
And
the
now
eyes.
I'm like, oh,
which
my
is
eyes.
true,
Yeah.
but it's like, did we need you to tell us to go outside?
But I would never go outside without sunglasses. And they're like, go out and let your lids feel the sun. It sounds insane.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you should. I don't think the sunglasses. Yeah, I mean, you want to protect your eyes from the UV light.
Yeah, but you need 20 minutes of direct light apparently in the morning.
Are you staring right at the sun?
an hour?
I
not
was wondering why you're
staring.
not looking at. Are you? Can you see still?
And hello. No, but the whole ice bucket, like all that stuff is really interesting.
Yeah.
But then if you think about it, I was telling my boyfriend this. I'm like, remember growing up, they had that rule in elementary school, 4-4-3-2. And it was like four fruit group, 4 vegetable group, 3 bread group, and 2 meat. And you're like, 3 bread groups? Like we would never be like eat bread 3 times a day.
Right.
So all the shit that they're doing now, it could all be bullshit too. You're right. It could be like the sun is the worst thing for you.
Well, yeah.
Get out of the ice bucket.
Yeah, I don't know if it's bullshit, but it's kind of like it's kind of simple. It's kind of snake oily a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't it have a snake oily kind of feel to it a little bit?
I think he's just good at translating complex information.
But when they
people.
say just like hop in a cold plunge or turn on a cold shower,
Right.
you're like, I don't know if that's going to solve me being molested.
But it's going to make you feel like you weren't molested for about 2 minutes.
For about 2 minutes. Like,
You'll
I don't
forget
know.
about it.
It's the same thing as Bitcoin gambling. I just watched this fucking Bitcoin documentary. And so like, I was just thinking, I was like, this is just part of the human condition. People want the easy. They just love the They looking for they want to
fix.
Quick without the pain, without without the process, without, we know as comics it takes years and years and people want like, how do I
They want instant
sell out?
gratification.
Yeah, they just always will. And we're not a truth-seeking animal. We're kind of like a faith-based animal. That's why we're so vulnerable to fucking people with charisma and hucksters, because we want to believe that there's going to be a way.
Well, there's also so much stimuli right now.
Yeah.
That like you want to be able to do everything. I mean, don't you I wake up with the most anxiety right when I wake up. Because then I'm like, oh my God, I have shows tonight. I want to write that screenplay. I should go work out. Yeah. Did I call my mom? Like it all just hits you.
Yeah, the mornings where the anxiety really kicks in.
Yeah. And then all I want to do is sometimes I get up and I have to do those breathing exercises. Just to fucking calm down for a second.
Well, mindfulness is great.
I started mindfulness.
Mindfulness is really great.
I started 10% happier.
Yeah.
Is that really, you like it?
Yeah, for real.
Okay.
But that again is like, it's not an easy thing. It's something you got to do a lot, get better at.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. I was talking to a dude who did ayahuasca, and he was like honest with me. He was like, I felt good for a couple weeks, and then he's like, I kind of fell back into things. So I was like,
well, you fall back into things. I mean, for everyone it's different, but I notice I fall back into things, but I'm aware more.
That's really
so
good.
But it's almost like worse because your ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
But then you have more to fix. So I'm like, oh, I'm doing that thing, but now I know how to fix it because I'm so hyper aware that I still do it.
Yeah.
And it can put me in a very shitty place.
Yeah.
Because you know so much more about yourself now.
So now it's like you're more aware of more being fucked up.
Exactly.
So you got to like, I got to really address this now. Whereas before I was just repressing it and it would come out as a panic.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
And I would ignore it and I would be okay.
I actually said to my therapist, like, I kind of wish I didn't know all this because like, it's like now I have to deal with it. I have to like face it and go, because there is a morning of lost time. You're going, fuck, what if it was different? What if I didn't have to deal with this? I could have done this, or I could have been. And it's not like accomplishments. For me, it was like joy that was robbed because I know that I live my life in this heightened sense of arousal that's unnecessary. So I'm constantly trying to keep myself. I'm spending so much energy trying to not panic and be in a good place that I'm not just like in the moment enjoying.
But do you find that because of your traumatic situations in life,
welcome to Dr. Drew.
I'm Oprah. That your joy is even heightened because you're coming from a lower place?
Yeah, a little bit.
Right?
Yeah. From great weakness comes great strength because the people who are just always strong take it for granted and the people who are weak really appreciate it. So yes.
So now that is really Dr. Drew. Wow.
That is really Dr. Drew. But there's something to that.
Yeah.
Because like for people go like, what's your dream? And I'm like, peace.
Which is harder when you get older though. I mean, maybe do you find joy with your children?
Yes.
Because I feel like I don't have kids, but I'm like, if I took away all the, the annoying parts of having kids,
right,
there must be something in those blissful moments of joy.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. Yeah.
It's the thing that really set what I'm going through in motion was having the kids.
Yeah.
Because like I never felt love on that. And then I started to think about what I didn't have and then it's the things that I was like, that's not a big deal. At least I wasn't like, molested or whatever.
Yeah, you
like,
keep going.
Yeah. I keep asking my therapist. I keep going, are we sure? Because I want to know.
Yes.
And they're like, you don't come across as someone. I'm like, but I heard you repress it. And then what I'll do, because I'm a sick fuck looking for misery, I'll be walking around my backyard going like, all right, okay, there, we were wrestling one time, did it? All right, come on. And then like I'm trying to find it. I'm like searching my brain. I still can't find it.
It's such an easy answer to like be like, oh, I was molested. That's what it was.
I'm doing what we all do. I'm looking for that quick fix.
Because I do that too. And I'll be like, well, what if the repressed memories have to be something horrible? Right? And then it always makes me think about the Michael Jackson documentary when those I think it was two people who were like severely molested. Did you watch it? And the guy was like, my ass cheeks were literally like pressed open by Michael Jackson.
I don't think
and he had repressed all of it. And then when he had kids that were the age that he got molested, it all came coming back.
Yes.
And I was like, what the fuck? Is that why I didn't have kids?
That is what happened to me. So, and that supposedly that's how it works. Like something just like triggers it or whatever. I don't. Yeah. It's just dealing with it, going through the process, dealing with it. Helps. It gets better.
Yeah.
It gets better out there, guys.
Come on, keep going.
It gets better.
EDMR, whatever
now,
that is.
do you think it gets harder as you get older?
I think it gets harder in that I start to add annoying things like I'm running out of time. What have I done with my career? Yeah. Like I'm adding new things.
Jesse's got a great philosophy on how to be happy.
Okay.
Lower expectations, find an inexpensive hobby.
Cheap hobbies and lowered expectations.
Lowered expectations and cheap hobby.
But lowered expectations works when you remember to say that. Like my big one's on my phone now that says don't have any hope.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
And then you won't have you won't be like waiting for something.
Right.
Like no hope equals freedom or something like that. And I'm like, but isn't that a homeless man on an alley?
That's what happens to me. I'm like, oh, these Buddhists got figured out. I'm like, but they're just fucking sitting there. Like, that can't be great.
They're just a bunch of cynics.
Yeah, they're just sitting there all day. And I'm like, I don't know if that just seems like that's what depressed people do. They just sit in their fucking bed. So it's like the solution sounds like the problem.
It's all, you come back full circle.
You come back full fucking circle. Yeah.
Like do you listen to Sam Harris?
I have.
He's pretty brilliant. Sometimes he goes over my head, but he'll have guests who will be like, I did a silent retreat for 2 years. And then I lived with the Habuba Kamakas under a roof, under a rock. And I'm like, I would fucking lose my mind.
Yeah, I'd be like...
That's the idea. You're supposed to.
To lose your mind.
To lose your mind.
Yeah. You just let go of all this bullshit.
But that's why I did Ayahuasca.
She did it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you get it all in one night. You get 10 years of therapy.
You got the compressed
But then you dance with the devil.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
So she did it, right? It didn't work 100%. Are you saying if she continued to do it?
Right.
But then she's living in fucking Peru.
But then
it's
She
depressing.
should just become a shaman. That's the
Just
answer.
move to Peru.
But if I do that for 10 years and live under a rock and meditate, then I'm going to wake up and be like, what about my comedy? Wait, am I even past at the clubs anymore?
I'll recommend a book, and anyone who's watching this shit, it's called The Body Keeps the Score. I'm reading it now, and I just recommend it.
Okay.
It's by a psychiatrist. It's an incredible book. It was a famous book. It's really incredible. But he has one line in there. He goes, the whole goal, I'm summarizing, I'm paraphrasing, but is to feel what you feel and know what you know. That's the goal.
But then it just sounds so easy. Oh, just feel what you feel.
No, but if you think about it, it's like to be able to feel what you feel and like handle it. And to be able to know what you know and handle it.
Okay.
So that's basically what that sentence is about.
So it's live in the present.
Live in the present, yes, but it's be able to handle like the stuff that you repress. It's be able to know that and feel it, and just accept it. Like just be okay with it. Like get to a place where you're more okay with it. It's a simple thing, obviously, but when you think about it, that really is the goal. And the people who struggle are struggling with knowing what they know and feeling what they feel, and that's what it is. Like,
that's true.
That's really what you're struggling with.
I feel so much better now.
Yeah, there it is. That's what we're all struggling with. We're like, I can't feel that. I don't want to feel that. And then you're going, I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that. So we're struggling with those two things. So ultimately, that is, in essence, if you were to boil it down to a fucking elevator pitch, that's really what therapy's about, is being okay with that.
Do you ever have moments where you like think you're okay and then you're triggered by the weirdest thing?
Yes.
And I just had one the other day. I was watching Mrs. Maisel, but I don't watch it for the stand-up. I just like that time of, the 60s, and the Lenny Bruce character I think is awesome. So, and then she fucks him and I'm like, I need to know what happens, And I hope I didn't ruin it for anyone. But then she went to do her first late night special on this fake late night show. And she calls her parents and she's like, I'm going to be on TV tonight for my debut. And it triggered this weird thing because when I did Letterman, it was my first. And my parents were like, what are you doing with your life? Like, you need to be, something real. What's this stand-up bullshit? And I was so jealous of her for calling her parents.
Right.
I cried for like an hour.
Right.
But cried.
Yeah.
And you're like, where is this coming from? Letterman was a million years ago.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen to you?
No, but I can see it. It's even hitting you right now. Yeah. That's real stuff. Yeah.
Real stuff. This is not a smoker's cough. I'm getting over it.
And those
illness.
are not smokers' tears either.
Oh.
Those are the tears of a clown. Those are the tears of a clown.
Mom and Dad, why didn't you watch?
And
No, they
you
didn't
were
watch.
right. You're right about that.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. It's like it's kids need certain things, they didn't get them, and then you start realizing you didn't get them, and then you realize that had an effect on you.
Yeah, it's like this little nook and cranny that you kind of covered over.
Yeah.
Wait, they weren't impressed that you were on Letterman?
They were, but I'd gone through so many years of what are you doing with your life? We sent you to college. We paid all this money. You went in as pre-med, and now you're fucking in a basement telling dick jokes. Like, so much of that, and they're so traditional. My mom's European. She's Spanish. My dad was in the Navy, so they had this like not easy, but just track career. And I was like, I'm going to go to Schmokey's Chuckle Hut tonight, And then by the time I got Letterman, I was like, they were like, well, what exactly are you doing on that? And they do what they can. But my point was I'm fine with them. I have a great relationship with my parents.
Yeah.
They just do what they could. They were limited in that thing. And I watched that and I was like, oh my God. It was insane.
Yeah. Well, you're not wrong about it.
Yeah.
You're right about it.
Yeah.
It's
But doesn't that make you go like, what else am I going to watch? What is Yannis going to do that's going to make me go, I did get molested?
Yeah. I guess if I molest you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wait a second. This happened before.
Oh my God. This feels familiar. It was in this room.
Yeah, but you're right. Like I drop a fork and then
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I'm rewatching The Sopranos now, and I'm like, it's so good to watch as an adult because he's going through that. I mean, he's a killer and all that, but like he'll get triggered. He was getting triggered by the gabagool because that was the first time when he saw his dad chop somebody's pinky off, and that's when he fainted for the first time. And
yeah.
Do you ever pass out?
No, but I've become very scared of blood. Very scared.
Right.
And I used to, I was pre-med, so in high school I would go, my mom worked as a nurse, so I would go to her hospital and watch surgeries, like behind the glass wall and stuff, and very extremely fascinated. I wanted to be, and now I can't even watch people pull blood out of me. It literally, I have to literally turn away and be like, just do it. I cannot, the sight of blood, I get woozy and I'm like, I'm going to pass out.
And what's weird is that those things are usually about something else, which is
really?
It's just how the brain fucking works. It's weird. It's just it's like some memory, something. Your brain is attached that to some other pain, and it's you got to uncover. It's fun. Whoever set this place up was like, guys, it's a mystery.
Set up what?
It's set up this world or whatever. It's every person is you have a little mystery. Your personality and everything's like a little mystery for you to solve. Because we're so past eating, surviving, and all that. That now we're just who am I and why? Why am I crying? And it's cool.
But then you go to the 50 years from now, and what's going to be the trend then?
Doing the therapy I'm doing is making me optimistic about the world, because what I've concluded, I think, is, Sinead O'Connor said something, and my therapist pointed this out to me. She said, thank God she died from natural causes. That came out today.
Oh, wait, Sinead?
Yeah, she died from natural causes. She didn't commit suicide. Thank God.
Yeah.
Whenever someone commits suicide, I'm like, I can't take what they said seriously because they fucking killed themselves.
Yeah.
But she said she thinks all the problems in the world are due to child abuse.
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
And I think it's true.
I think it's true, too.
I think it's really true.
Well, also
'Cause it's
divorce
like, Hitler,
can
what
fuck
were
you
doing?
up.
Yeah, like what were you really doing? You know, it's like people like that. You're going like, Putin, what's this really about?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Like you think he was molested?
what? There's something.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, what is really going on?
Yeah.
Because who can care about all that? Who can really care? Like, who's going like, I need to conquer, and like what is that?
So Donald Trump molested?
It's something.
Yeah.
Daddy's. There's something in there that.
Well, his
gave,
that book that Mary wrote, Mary Trump, that was
Yeah.
really good. His
I
dad
didn't
was
read
a
it.
dick.
Yeah, his dad was a
Massive
real
dick.
Massive dick.
Bigger dick than Donald Trump.
Yeah, and his brother was like an alcoholic who
Yeah.
like died, and he's like, my brother was weak. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe your brother got it
Well, his
and couldn't handle it.
I think it was a while ago, but I think his dad just loved his brother so much that he ignored Donald.
Could be. I thought
was
Donald
some-
was like the star guy. I
I can't
Donald-
remember. Maybe I made that up.
I don't
but
know.
I'd have to reread it.
But it's always something,
Yeah.
is my point, because
Yeah.
like it's ridiculous to care about all these things that aren't like your family, your kids, or like goodwill, or like connecting to someone, because like those things are never wear out. They're all good.
yeah.
It's like all good, but like the chase for, you know, when you have a hole in you and you're chasing alcohol, those things are all the receipt for those, the bill for those
Oh
things
my
is
God.
always bad.
Well, someone told me this and I love it. It's like your parents have a credit card bill, and if they don't go to therapy, they never paid it off. So now it's your bill.
I love that.
And it's like you're going to keep paying the bill until, you're going to
So
deal with it until you pay the bill.
Someone's got to break it. Someone's got to pay the bill and break the
Because even the
debt.
the debt, because even like my family came from a bunch of alcoholics, but my dad didn't drink, and not drinking is not solving the problem.
It's dry drunk.
It's
white
a dry
knuckle.
drunk.
Yeah.
So you're still carrying. I still had to go to Al-Anon to deal with the shit that he dealt with.
That's right.
It
Sometimes
just never
dry
goes
drunks are
away.
worse, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and my therapist would say that because she's like, at least when you're an alcoholic, you can see what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And she's like, a lot of times you can't see what's wrong when your parent is sober.
Yeah.
And that threw me off. I was like, what the? How am I going to figure it out?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
You got some developmental trauma. You probably had
Yeah.
some things as a kid that you got to get in there and just like relive and figure it out and get there, and and
But
it'll
then
make
it's
you
that-
a better comic.
That whole thing where you look at people who have it worse, who's I don't know, they were raped and then their parents were beheaded or whatever, and you're like, I'm okay.
Now I found out about
Yeah.
that, which is something that always prevented me in therapy from like opening up.
Oh.
So I found out that everyone does that,
Mm.
even people who've been raped.
Oh, like their rape wasn't rapey
They
enough?
they
Yeah.
always go like, so like she's like, and she sees so like this, she's experienced, so she's like, that's common. It's just sort of like it's a defense mechanism. It's a disassociation. It's going like, or you feel like you're making it up.
Yes.
You go like, I feel like I'm making this up, or it's not true, or it wasn't that bad. Like you're always kind of going like somebody had it worse. It wasn't that bad, and that's just a way for you to not deal with it.
You're like, at least I was raped in a bed.
Yeah. So everyone does that.
Yeah.
Everyone does that. Like everyone's personal thing is their thing. So it's like you can't compare it.
You can't compare. You have to
can't
keep dealing with your shit.
It's like being a stand-up. You don't want to look at other people's journeys.
It's so hard when it's all on Instagram, though.
It is tough. It is
Yeah.
tough. How have you felt about the change in art? Because we're that generation
Oh my God.
that
So many things to
in
say
between.
about it.
We're the
Yeah.
in-between generation.
It's harder as an
Yeah.
in-betweener.
Yeah.
Yes, because we started, without offending the current class,
Right.
we do it because we love the joke,
Right.
And
we learned how to perform live with time and make it good the whole way through.
we had
Yeah.
to hustle
Yeah.
and we had to go to the show and there was no way to advertise it. God, we sound old, right?
Yeah, so there's back then there was
You
a
know.
way we had to hand out flyers, and it was very
In 1825
these kids.
at Hamburger Harry's.
I was performing in Vietnam. All right.
But there's like a switch, like a light switch that you have to do to be like, oh, I gotta push myself. Because the thing is with me, like I would get late nights and I'm so grateful for those, but it kind of you kind of coast like, oh, more things will come because I got Letterman, I got Conan, I got this and I got this. Whereas I think people who didn't get that were probably like, what the fuck? I have fire under my ass. I'm going to go make a special.
Well, it also used to do that. It also used to make you. So like
Yeah.
it was like you could coast. You would do the Letterman, you
Yes.
get the exposure, and then
Yeah.
you could coast. You were
Yeah.
like, you had the credit. People saw you on there, and there was 14 million people watch you on there. Now, Jimmy, the Tonight Show gets 1 million sometimes.
Insane.
That's like a Burr Kreischer story on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's like it's changed.
Yeah.
So it's not just that you were like, I'm coasting, I didn't have to hustle. It's just like it wasn't effective anymore.
It wasn't
It's
effective.
not effective anymore. It's
But
not
then,
effective.
like, when I look at I just did my first special. Now I have 2 albums, but I wanted to do a special before COVID, and then COVID just really fucked me up with, I mean, it was so nice and comfortable to just not do anything.
Right.
And I just did a bunch of other things I never get to do.
Yeah.
So by the time I did my special, now I'm just like, well, I could have fucking done this years ago.
Right.
But also, I'm not one of those people who's like, I see Andrew Schultz doing things and I'm like, oh my God, good for you. You're so brave. And da, da, da. I'm not like, oh, I don't have the confidence to be like, I'm going to do what he's doing.
Right. Right.
Like, I wasn't like that with Twitter when it came out. I wasn't even really like that with Instagram or anything. I was just like waiting and waiting, So it's nice to like, people are like, oh, well, it's nice that you waited to do your special because now it's solid. And if I had to do one in 8 months, easily I could do another one just because I have so much material. But I still wish that I'd done it earlier.
Yeah.
There's
no point to do that though. The good news is that whatever you're putting out now is gonna be the result of all that hard work and chops and natural funny that you have. So it'll be good. So
Yeah.
you throw it out there and something good will happen.
Yeah.
That's the good part about it is like you put it up, you get it up there, and like people will see it because that's where they're looking now. So it's more about like where the eyeballs are now.
Right.
That's the theme, right? So it's like it has nothing to do with like what's better. It's just like more people are online.
Yeah.
So and it just so happens you don't have to get a green light. You can just produce it yourself and put it up or whatever. So you're just going where the eyeballs are. So if
Right.
you just start doing that, which you're doing now, and with this special, and so tell me about the story between. Now it just became.
So now,
how did you and Mark? So what happened with Norman? Like you and Norman? Did Norman say put it on my? Well, tell me the whole thing.
he just came right up to
Yeah.
me and said, would you like to put it on my channel?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes.
So-
The end.
That's it, right?
No, they're literally
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like, what? Like it was at Gotham.
Yeah.
And we were just both doing spots. And
Yeah.
he's like, why don't you put it on my channel? And this was before.
So fucking great.
I know. And this
Yeah.
was before I even recorded it.
Yeah.
So I was like, do you want to see it first?
Yeah. But he's seen you. He knows
But he
you.
was
yeah.
like, yeah, just put it on my channel.
Yeah.
And Jason Katz, who directed it,
Yeah.
took care of all of it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to put it up for him on his channel. We'll do this, we'll do that, do all the podcasts,
Where'd
blah,
you
blah,
shoot it?
blah. At the Cellar at the Underground.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I flew to Spain to do it in Spanish. So I did it and I got really sick.
Yeah.
And then I went to Spain. I went to Barcelona and I shot it in Spanish. And then I got really sick again.
Oh, no.
And I'm never sick except for today.
So did you put up the Spanish version too?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Spanish one is actually on a streamer in Spain.
Yeah.
But in a couple months, I can put it on YouTube.
Very
so
cool.
I'll probably put it on my YouTube.
Very
Because
cool.
I want to hit those Latinos.
Yeah, get the Latinos.
I want the Latinos. I want to do shows in Latino world. That covers Mexico, Colombia, all the places.
The whole Latin,
Yeah.
Latinx world, Latinx.
Yeah.
That is very cool of Mark. That's very cool because he's got a nice social media presence.
Yeah. And he loves queefs.
He loves Queefs, but Mark loves comedy.
He does.
Mark loves comedy.
Yeah.
He really does. He's a guy, I think, who is like when he goes comedy, I think he loves it.
Oh, he means it.
He means it. He loves the joke writing. He
Right.
loves watching someone else's joke and going like, "That's a good joke." Like he's a comedy nerd who happens to be one of the best comics.
And
in the country.
everything he says is like you can feel him, killing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Queef.
I mean, yeah, he's
Like he's
autistic, but I mean,
Yeah.
In a good way.
That was the
for
word.
comedy,
No,
he
but
found something where he's like, I can put all this autism in this. Yeah,
But even off stage, he's like that.
That's
like
what I
he's
mean, yeah.
solid as a comic. Like he's funny off stage too.
He's-
Even if he's insulting, I find him so funny. Like
He
he'll walk
is-
past me and just go like on a day where I do think I smell because it's like sweaty outside, and he'll just be like, "Ooh." and I'll just start laughing.
Yeah, he's funny on podcasts as himself. He's that guy that the personality you see on stage is really like
That's him.
That's him off stage too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was born in the 40s or something. Sometimes
seems like he was born. He was delivered in a television set.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like he doesn't. He lives in the television set. Sometimes I go, wait, are we in a TV? When he's around, I'm like, are we in a TV? He's delivering lines in Gone with the Wind, like in real life.
But then in intimate situations, is he like the
Who
same?
knows? Or maybe when he gets angry, maybe there's something that maybe or it would be funny if he goes home and he gets by himself and he's like, and it's just normal rhythmic talk.
Yeah, and then he's like really boring.
I can't keep fucking doing this. Like this is just. I just watched a video of Jim Carrey on YouTube talking about how he couldn't carry on the persona anymore.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore. And then one day he just shows up at the cellar and he's like, "What's up, guys? How you guys doing?" And everyone's like, "Ah,
What happened to Mark?
go back to Computer Boy." And he's like,
Queef or
"Okay,
something."
sorry, let's go." And his legs start moving like a Barbie doll can.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. So who knows? But I think that's really
Hilarious.
him. But that is so cool.
Yeah.
That it was just such a quick thing and boom.
It
it's
was
up.
like almost like, is this the Twilight Zone?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? And what's the punchline?
Yeah.
Like, what's the joke?
Jesse watched it last night. He said it's
You did?
incredible.
Actually, on my way over here today, yeah.
Oh my
I had a
God.
good laugh at the Marfan joke.
Oh my gosh.
That got me good.
Yeah.
That was,
I get that all the
yeah,
time.
That was really hilarious.
We've
Yeah.
always been huge fans of Carmen when we thought we were going to be the Coen brothers. We were putting you in everything we had.
I loved
I loved
that.
Carmen from the beginning. And I think it started, I think the first time I met you was that Gilda thing. And I remember how good you did.
Wait,
and how
Gilda
bad I
was
did.
before Slanket?
Yeah.
It was?
Yes.
Oh, what
Yes.
state was that?
We drove to some, it was Gilda's
Oh,
club. We
yes.
drove and I think I had I was driving or you were driving. See, my memory's not that
Probably
great.
you, because I didn't have a car in New
Yeah,
York.
so I probably drove you, and we were like, "Hey,
Yeah.
we're going to do this thing."
Yeah.
I don't know if we really knew each other at all before
Yeah.
that. And they were in there. I just remember talking your fucking head off
Yeah.
about getting shot, and I could just see that you were kind of half interested in the whole thing.
I'm sure I was.
No, you were not. And because afterwards, I remember going like, I was just talking too much.
Yeah.
But when I look back, I go like, probably just really needed to talk about it because this was close to when I got shot. This was like,
You got shot?
Yeah.
Why don't I remember this?
I don't know. I talked to you about it for an hour and a half in a car.
Maybe that's what I'm repressing. It's in my repressed memories.
No, it's not repressed. It's just I think you were just going like, this guy. I don't want to hear any of it. I think you're going, this is boring, and I don't.
No,
wanna,
there's
I think
no
you
way.
Shut off, and you're like, I just don't want to hear this fucking
I honestly-
self-absorbed shithead talk about getting shot the whole fucking way to Gilda's Club. We're going. She's a cancer benefit.
No, I remember the Gilda's Club. I just can't put things together. My memory is the worst.
Yeah.
I always worry I'm the one who's gonna get dementia because I can't remember shit. My boyfriend's always like, you have the memory of a goldfish. Like you cannot remember anything.
It's not horrible. It's a nice, easy way to fade out of life. It's a slow fade.
Yeah.
It's not a hard cut. It's sort of like a slow fade.
Slow fade.
Yeah,
But
it's a slow fade.
I'm watching my dad go through it.
It's not fun.
And it's not horrible. It's starting
How old is he?
83.
So it won't be long. Mine started in the 60s.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
No.
That is not fun.
But there are so many good jokes. The things he says that
Yeah.
come out of his mouth
yeah.
are so brilliant. I
he-
literally walk around with a notebook and
Does
I'm
he know
like,
who you
I'm
are?
stealing that. Yes.
He still knows who you are. So
He
it's
still
slight.
knows who I am. But on New Year's, my sister flew in from Spain, so I spent New Year's with them. And he was like, what are we celebrating tonight again? And I was like, here we
Should've been
go.
like, World War II's over. And they were like, all right, we beat him.
Yeah.
We beat him, Dad. You can have a real lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could be like, the aliens landed. You're like, what?
My favorite, though, is when he gets up and he sees me in the kitchen and he'll be like, I love some eggs and muffins. And I'm like, oh, is this a resort? I'm sorry. 1 second. Like, he just calls out the menu what he wants. And I'm like, get in here,
Or maybe
you know?
he thinks maybe at a resort. Yeah.
Maybe he's at a oh my
It could be
God.
like I'm at a resort. Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, I'm glad you're getting it. It's better for your parent to get it later. Your
Yeah.
parent loses their mind. You want it to be later, so they're on the runway.
Right,
Tickets
right.
been bought.
Yeah, but it makes you just think of yourself. You're like, all right.
Well, when did it start for him?
I
80s?
mean, slowly 80s.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
If you start losing a little bit in the 80s, isn't that fine?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't have kids to take care of
And
me,
he's
though.
not even fully. It's just a little bit.
It's
So-
but it's every time. You know when you go home I try to go home like every 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And I notice little things
Yeah.
like every time.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's another thing. Yeah, it gets a little worse and worse.
and you're like,
it's sadder
this is
and sadder.
escalating.
Yeah.
You know how like you'll see a kid and you're like, damn, you've grown.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
Like now you're getting old fat.
Also, you're a really good person, and I think I've noticed in comedy, those people tend to beat themselves up a little bit too
Yes,
much.
for sure.
And
Yeah.
you know, it's like every field, but comedy, and I've made this joke on a lot of podcasts, but our skill set is very similar to that of dictators.
Okay.
We have the same, you know, we talk in front of people and
Self-sufficient.
we
yeah.
win them over. We're kind of dictator, right?
Yeah.
We make them believe shit. We market to them and stuff. So we have a lot of that in our field. We got a lot of real psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissistic personality disorders,
Yeah.
borderlines. And a lot of those people are unencumbered by a lot of the stuff that good people are encumbered by.
Yeah.
So sometimes it just takes a little bit longer for the people who are good people to just sort of, you know, realize to stop beating themselves up and kind of just, the cream always rises to the top.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes, like, look at Jessica Kirson. Like she's,
Oh my God, I love
and
what's
it happened
with
like,
her.
it happened like, I remember
It's insane. I
did-
love it. Yeah.
And it was like, and let me tell you something, like, this is interesting because it was something, it wasn't just like her YouTube channel. It was something about her.
Yeah.
And I've never told her this because she isolates that girl. I'll call her and she won't call me for
But she's also so busy.
She's busy,
Like,
which is great.
yeah.
But we did Montreal together
Yeah.
2 years ago, right? And we were there. We did that ethnic show thing. So we were there like early and we were there for a long time. And I remember I was like, things, I just feel like things are, you have a, like, things are starting to percolate. And she said it. She was like, yeah, things are, she said it with this confidence that kind of,
Nice.
she's like, yeah, things are going to
How
happen
long ago
now.
was that?
This was 2 years ago. And then that year, so this
Yeah.
was 2 summers ago, a year and a half. So it'd be a
It's
year
not
and a
even,
half.
yeah, because
It's a year
she
and a
used to
half.
have that podcast.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that character
Disgusting
podcast?
Hawk?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would do
I never
that.
did it, but yeah.
And I did it a couple times because we love to do characters and I'd bring in my wigs and we'd just act really stupid. And then one day I realized my boyfriend would watch it too. And he's like, it's not on anymore.
Yeah.
So then I went to the seller and I was like, what happened to Disgusting Hawk? And she's like, it wasn't getting any views. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And then I swear to God, I looked on her channel and she had like 5,000 YouTube followers.
Yeah.
And then like
It
immediately,
was like 500,000.
it was like,
Yeah.
yes, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah, because crowd work became the thing.
Yeah.
She's a master at it. She started bringing her like it was just.
It's
But
perfect.
it was a
Yeah.
confidence she had too, and just sort of like she's so funny and so experienced that it just all kind of came together. So it's just, you know, I think there's something to that too, where you just stop beating yourself up and you just own how good you are at it, and you just like, and then the confidence, that energy, kind of just carries into like
Yeah.
to more openness. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go in there confidently, and I'm going to
Yeah.
do it, and I'm just going to, and then things just happen. And then I look at her, and I'm like, I remember that summer, and I remember thinking it.
Yeah.
I remember actually thinking like, wow, Jessica's got some swag. Like it was like it was like a,
Yes.
you know, it was like a confidence and kind of like, you almost feel like it's going to happen.
Right.
You know, not saying that I knew,
Right.
but I just unequivocally fucking had
Yeah.
a feeling that she was kind of percolating like something. And then we actually had her on
Uh-huh.
not long after that. And we talked about it. And I said it. I was like, it's bubbling. And this was before it really.
Yeah.
And then I did the same thing. I looked at her YouTube channel. I was like, what the fuck?
It was
It exploded.
sick.
Yeah. And she's
Yeah.
getting what she deserves.
So deserves.
And she started to believe she deserved it, and she does. And she started to just kind of own how good and funny she was.
yeah.
And it just, I think that comes across in the clips. That's what I'm saying. I think it comes across in like her willingness to just do it, dive into it,
Yeah.
keep trying things until they work. Right. So it's like you said, that Disgusting Hawk thing. It's like when we got something to pop,
Yeah.
when me and Jessica got something to pop, we had done a fucking million things that didn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
But we were just kind of like
Trying
shit.
Yeah.
So
That's what you have to do.
Yeah. So it's like, I think you're one of those people who are so funny.
Come on, I'm next.
Yeah. No, you're so good at stand-up comedy.
thank
like,
you.
You're really one of the funniest
Oh my
comedians.
God.
Like you perform and you just. I remember Angelo would go, yeah, I saw Carmen Lynch the other night. God, so good.
He was always so complimentary.
Yeah, and so it's just people need to go watch the special because it's really good comedy. There it is on Mark Norman's channel. It's called Queef Week. Carmen Lynch. Go check it out. Follow Carmen Lynch on her YouTube channel. Carmen Lynch, all one word.
Oh, Carmen Lynch.
Yeah. Follow her on the gram.
And the gram is at Carmen Comedian.
Carmen Comedian.
And
Carmen
That's
Comedian.
how I thought of it, though. I totally was like, I need to do at Carmen Comedian.
Yeah.
And then if you're Spanish, follow me at Carmen en Español.
Carmen Español.
But yes, Carmen Comedian, and all the dates are on there.
Yeah.
And whatever.
I just want to say this. Do you remember we were doing those comedy to goes years ago,
Yes,
and
I
we
do
did
remember
Carmen's,
this.
and
Yes.
Oh my God.
we were in this like I think it was more me. I was like we were trying to be all artsy and shit, and we made yours.
Yes.
But the reason we initially did that is because I think we thought it looked bad.
Yeah.
Because we thought
Yes.
people cared.
Something happened to it, I think. There was
It
something
like
in the
blown out a little
lighting.
bit.
It was blown out, yeah.
But nobody cares.
No.
Like we did the same thing with. So here's that Slanket script.
Yeah.
Right? So we put it up. This just shows you how wrong-minded we were about, and it's funny to think about now. So we put it up.
Yeah.
And Jesse, so this is the funniest thing. So we put that thing up. Jesse told like advertising people, right? So somehow advertising people started sending it to each other, and it started to like really fucking move.
Yeah.
Like, and they were emailing us going, this is the funniest fucking thing. And it started to like catch on in the advertising world. But us like idiots, we were watching it and going like, it just doesn't look good. We don't like the way it looks. Nobody cares. So we took it down.
No.
Yes. You ever notice that it's in black and white?
Oh my
Go
God.
watch it. We put it like a couple of fucking idiots.
Oh my God.
Like we thought we were like fucking Picasso or something
That's
like
why
that.
I'm not famous.
Yeah.
Because you guys took it down.
Dude, the funny thing is, it started to get like
Right.
with some important people.
Yeah.
like it started to, and the numbers were like, it was like
shit.
fucking.
Yeah.
It's catching. I was going viral.
We didn't like the color correction.
We didn't like the
it
color
didn't look
correcting.
great, you know.
And
Back in like 20 years ago,
Yeah.
which
Nobody
is
even knew
crazy.
what color correction
yeah.
We
was.
knew what it was. We were like, nah, it just doesn't look right. We were watching it, overthinking it. It just doesn't look right. And I can't tell you how many of our videos we did that with, but that one was. We didn't know the consequence. We had no idea about the algorithm or people sharing it. We didn't know about that. We just wanted it to look good. So we fucking took it down.
Oh my God. Did you ever put it back up?
We put it back up, but it was lost. And then, like, it
Yeah,
was
it went
just
nowhere
It
after
went
that.
nowhere after that.
See, I thought the story was that when we did the Slanket, which I don't know if everyone knows what it is, it's a blanket with sleeves.
We did a sketch, like a comedy sketch about the advertising world.
Okay.
That I wrote based on everything I learned from what he would tell me.
Yes.
And we used the Slanket, which was my friend Gary Clegg's invention that the Snuggie stole. So Slanket was the first one, and we just used that as the product in a pitch meeting where we played a copywriter and a ad guy, and then Brian Hobson, the very funny Brian Hobson, played the creative director.
Yeah.
So it was just a spoof on it was an inside spoof. It was almost like the only way it would catch on. This is how fucked up it is. It was such an inside industry thing because it was all based on
Super inside baseball. Yeah.
super inside baseball. That the only way it would catch on and the only people who it was really for were those people.
Right.
We got it to those people. It was extremely successful with those people. And then we fucking unplugged it.
Don't unplug your videos.
Dude, it's to think back on how funny that, how stupid that was. And that's one of a few stupid things we did. But that one in particular, where people, it was like making the rounds at like all these advertising
Oh my
agencies.
God.
Yeah.
I thought it was honestly the Snuggie. I thought it was just that the Snuggie took over and you guys were like, well, fuck the Slanket.
No, he was a friend of ours.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
He was like, well, it'd be great promotion for the product. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, I need something to spoof. So I was
Right.
like, we'll just do the Slanket.
But then the video that you're talking about, I remember you guys came
yeah.
back with it,
We
and
made
you're
it
like,
animated it, or
and you're like, instead of just saying like the light sucked, you were like, we have a fresh idea for your video.
well, we didn't only do it with yours. We did it. We did a few. We did Pat Dixon's. We made all fucking weird.
Yeah, we cut it like a Scorsese
like
movie.
a Scorsese
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, I mean, we were experimenting. We were doing
That's
things.
good.
We were trying to bring art to comedy.
Yeah, we were trying to bring art. But you know, it's funny. Like if we probably went back and watched her comedy to go,
It would have been fine.
first of all, you didn't need the fucking mic. What were we doing making them hold the mic?
It was our thing.
Yeah, you remember Pat Dixon was trying to play pool and hold the mic in his hand. Like, we could have just did it without the fucking mic.
Yeah, and I was walking around a grogrocery store like a little deli with
could have
cookies.
done it without the mic. It would have been
Yeah.
better. But we were like this whole thing of like taking stand up and putting it in the thing.
Yeah.
Well, it was supposed to be a runner between our. It was for a sketch show, so it was supposed to be between sketches.
Okay.
So it would be like a little interlude,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
We
yeah.
still didn't need the mic.
We
even
still
if we were
didn't
doing
need
the
the mic.
interview.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to watch those, just Google Carmen Lynch comedy to go somewhere. It's still really funny.
The
Yeah.
jokes were
It
great.
looks horrible.
Yeah, it was.
But it's, I mean,
well,
the
we also
jokes are
tried
incredible.
to. We did a guerrilla style shoot in a supermarket. Like we didn't have permits. We just set up a camera in a shopping cart and said go.
And I
That's
think I look crazy. I think you guys were like, do your weird animated faces because there's a picture of me holding cookies. And I'm like,
Well, you
oh.
can't. Yeah.
That was a still that he did.
Oh, it's
was a
still,
Yeah.
Well,
which
you-
was great. It's artsy, but I look insane.
Yeah, it was a little over. We were going a little. We were overthinking it.
we were too
We were
arty, yeah.
overthinking it.
But I liked it. It
Yeah,
was fun.
we were overthinking it.
Yeah.
That was a series that went nowhere. But we did. Bill Burr did one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
really?
right.
Jim Norton did
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, his was in a peep booth.
His was in a peep booth. Bill Burr's was on the
yes.
playground.
Yeah.
We did Magnus Bettner. I watched that and I
in
was
the
like,
church. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, what the fuck were we doing? Like, it's like a movie.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool.
Kinda
That one
cool.
kind of came together a little bit.
Yeah.
We did Carmen Lynch. We did Pat Dixon. We did Tommy Valamies. We did Nate Bargatze has
Oh
one.
yeah.
Wow.
Which you can watch now that he's a megastar.
Yeah.
We did one with him at my aunt's house on the porch, like a southern porch with tea.
Yeah.
And
I want to watch all of them.
yeah,
now.
it's really cool to go back at the begin. Those were the beginning days of YouTube when we were just experimenting. I mean, this was 08, 7,
Did
6.
Rouse at a bathtub,
Jason
right?
Routh in the back. We did a bunch of people. I can't remember who
Wow.
else, but
Yeah.
we did Carmen Lynch in a supermarket, and we also did the balls commercial. We did a
Oh,
we
yeah.
did a testicular cancer thing.
Oh.
Was that a Valentine's Day testicular?
It was a Valentine's
It was
testicular
like,
cancer.
for a
yeah.
foundation.
Did we have her in
Sean-
anything else too?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Who was my date at the restaurant that
Yes.
night?
I was your
Oh, you were
date.
my
Yeah,
date.
Yeah,
was
your
the date.
memory is bad.
But when I think of you as like the director or something, I think it's someone else who's in the. But
Yeah.
you were the actor too.
I was the actor
Yeah.
in there. Yeah.
Was that at the stand?
That
It was at the
stand.
early
Stand.
stand.
The
That's right.
early one.
And Jesse shot it, and it was Jesse Peluso,
Yes.
and it was her to connect.
Yeah, she hooked it up.
She
She
hooked
was
it
the
up.
waitress.
She was the
Right.
waitress.
Yeah.
Yeah. And me and her were dating at the
Thank
time.
God I remembered something.
Yeah. Sergio
Yeah.
was in it too, wasn't he?
Sergio was in it.
Sergio was in it. He was at the table next to us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
something like that.
That's right.
I haven't watched these things in fucking 20. I'm gonna go watch Carmen Lynch comedy to go after this. Go check out the special. Follow Carmen Lynch, one of my favorite comedians, always has been. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you so much, you guys. That was so fun.
Want to give a shout out to exclusiveautoshipping.com. If you're moving your car out of state or you bought your car out of state, go to exclusiveautoshipping.com. Student and military discount supply. Talk to our boy Jared Z. He'll move that car for you. Getting a divorce? Need to move? Want to get the car out? Call Jared Z. Disappear with the car before she can take it. Chris Minetti, 215-750-3730 is the phone number. The location is Philadelphia and South Jersey. We all hope Chris Minetti's still with us. I haven't heard from him in a while. There's no comments or anything. His credit card still works. But he, who knows what they know. I didn't say anything. I just read the ads. But I will tell you, if you want your check to be cashed, Minetti Financial Services will cash your business check in the Philadelphia, South Jersey area at an undisclosed location. For the free .art, music in Hawaii. DisplayPros.net. They build your custom trade booths, retail fixtures, and promotional items. You get 10% off. You mention my name. They will build your custom trade booth, and they'll build anything, a sign, whatever you need. DisplayPros.net. Check them out. MA Insurance Services, Matthew Albani. This was obviously named after his initials. So it's not Ma. It's MA Insurance Services. Sounds more professional too than Ma. MAinsuranceservices.com, 813-260-0338. Check them out. It's MA Insurance Services. They offer a wide range of commercial insurance policies, including workers' comp, commercial property, auto, professional. They got bundles. They got umbrellas. They got general liability, right? If you're sick of your insurance company, give MA Insurance a try. Let me know how it goes. I fully endorse every one of these companies. Caprotech.com. They use AI. They use all the stats. They do all the number crunching for you. And they give you what they think is going to be the outcome based on all of their egghead stuff. And they got a great reputation. So if you're gambling, use my promo code YPH still. Stop losing money on sports betting and start investing. It's more of an investment with Caprotech. They have all the sports betting tools and content you need to help you win. Like I said, they use machine learning AI to simulate game results and give you the best betting advice available. Here's the best part, 100% free. No BS. Go to Caprotech.com or download the Caprotech app in the Google Play or Apple stores. Start winning right now, guys. Rebels Raider. I love my bag, dude. They sent me a bag. Our boy sent us a bag. Jesse's got a bag. I got a bag. This is my new road bag that I'm going to wear on my back. I love the backpack. So quality. Go to rebels-raiders.com. Pick up your tactical gear, your bags, whatever. Backpacks, packs for everyday carry, hiking, trail running, training, all that stuff. Love this product. And then, of course, thinkingman.substack.com. Go check them out for free. You could donate for $5. It's a newsletter that publishes articles, essays, and thoughts on things like movies, pop culture, and politics. I went and checked it out. It's very nice. I read a couple of the articles. Very nice. You got to keep writing, though. There's only a few up there, but I love it. So go to @thinkingman or search the link thinkingman.substack.com.